So your kid is 5, 10, 15 years old, and you've probably had this thought lately. Is college even going to be worth it by the time they get there? Is AI just going to take all the jobs away? And look, you're not crazy for thinking that. Everyone's thinking it. Right now, the employment rate for recent college grads is actually higher than the national average. That's coming straight from the Federal Reserve Bank in New York. And hiring for the class of 2026 is projected to grow just 1.6%. That is the worst job market for new grads since the pandemic. So what does this mean for you? The parent who's trying to figure out how much to save and how to save it? In this video, I'm going to walk through 5 things you need to know about saving for college in the AI era, including some major changes to the 529 plan that just kicked in that almost no one is talking about. So stick around. This is going to save you a lot of money and hopefully a lot of stress. So here's the situation. AI is doing 2 things at the same time that are kind of pulling in opposite directions. On one hand, AI is automating a ton of the entry-level grunt work that college grads used to get hired to do right out of college. Things like basic financial modeling, basic legal research, writing first drafts, building basic websites. That stuff is being done faster and cheaper by AI. The traditional pipeline of graduate to get an entry-level job, learn on the job, that pipeline is getting squeezed. On the other hand, the World Economic Forum just released the Future of Jobs report, and they're projecting that AI and the broader tech transition is going to create 170 million new jobs by 2030, while displacing 92 million. So that's a net gain of 78 million jobs. So jobs aren't disappearing overall, they're being reshuffled. The forum says about 39% of the skills employers need today will be different by 2020 or by 2030. So what does that mean for parents who are saving for college? It means the question is no longer just how much do I save? Bigger question is how do I save in a way that flexes with whatever path my kid actually ends up needing? And this matters because the cost of college hasn't gone down. So according to the College Board's 2025 report, the average all-in cost of attending a 4-year public school in state for 2026 is about $31,000 per year. That's about $124,000 over 4 years. Private schools, about $65,000 a year. That's roughly $262,000 over 4 years. So the stakes of getting this wrong are massive. Okay, so let's get into the 5 things that every parent needs to do differently in the AI era. Number 1, stop planning around a specific outcome. Biggest mistake I see parents making is they're picturing their kid going to a 4-year traditional university, maybe their alma mater, because that's what they did. That's what their friends' kids did. That's what we all did. So they all save accordingly. They push their kid toward that path, and they don't even consider that there might be a different best path for their kid by the time they're 18. Here's the reality. By the time a kid who is 5 years old today turns 18, the job market is going to look fundamentally different. Forum's report shows that a lot of the fastest growing jobs through 2030 aren't going to be the ones you'd guess. Yes, AI specialists, software developers are growing fast, but so are nurses, social workers, teachers, skilled trade workers, healthcare aides, and construction managers. And a lot of those don't require a traditional 4-year degree. So practically, this means when you're saving for your kid's education, save in vehicles that flex. Don't lock yourself into something that only pays out if your kid does the exact path you imagine. Number 2, and this is a big one, 529 plan, which has always been the gold standard for college savings, just got way more flexible. Because of a piece of legislation called the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, which was signed into law on July 4th, 2025, most parents have no idea this happened or what it means, but here's what changed. Starting July 5th, 2025, you can now use 529 funds tax-free for a much broader range of post-high school stuff. We're talking apprenticeships, professional licensing programs, industry certifications, and continuing education for credentials. If your kid wants to be a welder, an electrician, and HVAC, aviation mechanic, get a CDL, prep for the bar exam, get a real estate license, 529 money can now be used for it tax-free, which is a massive change. And this is huge because in an AI-driven economy, a lot of the careers that are most resistant to automation are skilled trades, hands-on healthcare, and credentialed roles. AI can write a brief, but it can't fix your air conditioner. AI can analyze x-rays, but it can't insert an IV. So if your kid ends up wanting a trade or a credential instead of a 4-year degree, your 529 money isn't trapped anymore. It can follow them. The other big change, starting January 1st, 2026, the annual K12 limit for 529 funds doubles from $10,000 to $20,000 per year. And the definition of qualified K-12 expenses got a lot broader as well. It now includes tutoring, curriculum materials, books, online learning materials, dual enrollment fees, standardized test fees like the SAT and AP exams, and educational therapies for kids with disabilities. So if you're paying for private school or tutoring or test prep, the 529 can now be a way to pay for that with tax-free money, at least at the federal level. Worth noting, and this is important, not every state has updated their state tax rules to match the federal change yet. Some states might still treat those K-12 withdrawals as non-qualified at the state level. So always check with your specific state plan before pulling money out for any K-12 expenses. Number 3, take advantage of the 529 Roth IRA rollover. This was created by the Secure 2.0 Act and has been live since 2024. Here's how it works. If you save in a 529 and your kid ends up not using all of it, maybe they got a scholarship, maybe they joined the military, maybe they decided to skip college and AI ate their path they were going to take, you can roll up to $35,000 from that 529 into a Roth IRA in your kid's name, tax-free and penalty-free. There are some rules around it, but the 529 has to have been open at least 5 years. You can only roll over up to the annual Roth IRA contribution limit each year. For 2026, that limit is $7,500, but your kid actually has to have earned income equal to the rollover amount that year, and you can't roll over contributions made in the last 5 years. So this isn't a quick flip strategy, but here's the strategic point. This rollover essentially turns your 529 into a hybrid college fund / retirement starter for your kid. So you don't have to be afraid of overfunding it the way you used to, at least to the same extent. If your kid skips college, the worst case scenario is they get a head start on retirement savings, and that's a pretty solid worst case. Number 4, if your kid is young, like under 10, start saving now, but think about the goal a little bit differently. The younger your kid is, the more uncertain we are about exactly what the world's going to look like when they're 18. And uncertainty means you want optionality, not a single locked-in plan. So quick hypothetical example, just to make this concrete, let's say you're saving for a 5-year-old. Hypothetically, and this is just for, again, illustration, if you put away $400 a month, that money grows at, say, an average of 7% annual return. You'd have somewhere in the ballpark of $100,000 by the time your kid turns 18. Now, that hypothetical $100,000 might cover a public in-state tuition for a few years. It might fully fund a trade school plus living expenses with a lot left over. It might fund a 2-year credentialed program plus $35,000 Roth IRA rollover into your kid's retirement. The point is, having that money gives you options. Not having it removes them. And one quick warning here, don't superfund 529 the absolute maximum if you're not sure your kid is going to use it for traditional education. 529 is more flexible than ever, but it's still designed primarily for education. If you're not sure of the path, it's often better to also have some money in a regular taxable brokerage account in, say, you and a spouse's name instead of the kid's name, or a Roth IRA in your own name, because that money has total flexibility no matter what your kid ends up doing. Number 5, and this one is more of a parenting point than a savings point, but it directly affects the savings math. Encourage your kids to build skills that work alongside AI, not skills that AI is going to do better than they will. The forums report identifies the fastest growing skills through 2030, and it's really an interesting list. Yes, technical skills like AI literacy, data, and cybersecurity are growing fast, but so are creative thinking, resilience, flexibility, agility, curiosity, lifelong learning, leadership, and what they call talent management. Basically, AI is great at executing tasks. Humans are still way better at deciding what tasks are worth doing, leading other people, and adapting when situation changes. If you're thinking about what to spend money on for your kid right now, tutoring, summer programs, extracurriculars, certifications, bias towards stuff that builds those flexible, durable human skills. A kid who knows how to think critically, communicate clearly, and adapt is going to do well in any economy. A kid whose only skill is doing one specific narrow task that AI now does, that kid's in trouble. So those are the 5 things. Quick recap, don't lock in on a single college path. Use the new 529 flexibility. Take advantage of 529 Roth IRA rollover as your insurance policy. Start early and prioritize optionality. And help your kid build a durable, AI-resistant skill set. Bottom line is this, AI isn't going to make college worthless, but it is going to change what kind of education actually pays off. Parents who win in this environment are the ones who save flexibly, stay informed about the new rules, and don't get locked into yesterday's playbook. If you found this helpful, do me a favor, hit subscribe so you get the next video, and drop a comment below telling me your kid's age and what you're most worried about when it comes to college and the AI economy. I read every comment and I'll use those questions as, hopefully for future videos. Until next time, cheers.